challenge in the Waterloo Civic Center. Fans action set to begin on court number 2 between the Theodore Roosevelt High School Rough Riders and the Arcadia High School Firebirds. Now fans, let's meet today's starting lineups here on court number 2. First with the Arcadia Firebirds. Number 2, Jaden Hope. Number 4, William Scarborough. Number 5, Leafon Williams. Number 23, Cameron Downing. And number 30, Keith Grenage. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for the Theodore Roosevelt High School Rough Riders. Number 0, Jasir Trumbull. Number 1, Ryan Blicky. Number 3, Marcel Gabriel. Number 11, Keon Ware. And number 44, Arthur Roach. Rough Riders foul, call number 44, Arthur Roach.
The final day of the Governor's Challenge has arrived. So glad you've joined us again here in Salisbury for a matchup of Rock Creek Christian and South Shore. Yesterday, the Eagles came in here and dominated against Beckley Prep, a 12-point victory, and they were led by point guard Delani Hunt. He's out there again and leading them today against the South Shore Vikings team, who's making their first appearance ever to the Governor's Challenge. They just arrived here, hit some traffic, and got off the bus just 30 minutes prior to tip-off, but hopefully they'll be able to calm themselves down as they're warming up on the floor, and we should have a good one coming up here just moments away. Let's take a look now at the starting lineups, and we begin with Rock Creek Christian. Mentioned Delani Hunt. He's a point guard, and he has 9 or 10 Division I offers on his way. Malik Carson, a wing player. Milton Matthews, a sharpshooter on the outside. James Gross, a 6'3 junior, is able to slash to the rim. And then Zakir Williamson is a big man in the low block, standing 6'7", 240. He'll pose some matchup nightmares here this evening. Now flipping the script and taking a look at the Vikings, who come in at 5-4 in the season as they make their way down from Brooklyn, New York. Jakeem Murphy is their best all-around player, a 6'5 forward. He's a junior. Marcus Burnett, also a very talented player on the wing. He's a 6'5 senior. And Dante Prescott, their starting point guard, a 5'9 junior. Dakari Lewis and Kiplin Richvine round out the starting lineup for the Vikings under the direction of Sean Mark in his fourth season. Lafayette Dublin on the bench for Rock Creek Christian. They're off to a 9-3 start following the victory here yesterday at the Governor's Challenge. Let's take a look at our players to watch here in this one, and we zero in on Delani Hunt, who we talked about yesterday. He was fantastic at dictating the pace of the game, the tempo, and came away with 15 points, but his impact on the game went far beyond that points that he scored, his stat line overall. He does all of the intangibles. And then Marcus Burnett, who we mentioned, a very talented guy. He's picking up steam in the recruiting circles. He went for 30 points against Mayfair earlier on this season. We'll get to the keys to the game here coming up in just a few moments, but first it looks like we are ready to start. Teams have made their way out on the floor, and it's just about tip-off time in Salisbury. Matt Present again with you for NFHS Hoops. Been with you throughout the tournament, and it has been a ton of fun here in Salisbury. Tip-off in the air, controlled by South Shore. They're the home team today, wearing their white uniforms, and they work from right to left. Lewis has it in between the circles. Right wing three from Burnett. That's around and out. No good. Weak side rebound for Prescott. He'll go back up with it. Missed the shot inside. Tipped out of play. And it will go to the Eagles. Eagles from Upper Marlboro, Maryland. A much shorter commute to come and play here in Salisbury. A turnover there. Far sideline. Gives it back to the Vikings. Eagles get a chance to come play away from home, but still not terribly far, and it's a luxury for head coach Lafayette Dublin, fondly known as Coach Laugh among the circles here in the community, and the three-pointer knocked down by Murray. He's got the first bucket, 3-0 the lead for South Shore. They'll come with pressure. This is Hunt able to break it, getting it into the front court. Kick it left side, pass down low for Williamson. And he's unable to finish, but on the weak side, they get it to go. That's James Gross cleaning up the rebound, putting it home. 1-point game. South Shore quickly back the other way. Drive from Prescott. He's able to finish. Prescott, a running back on the football team, and you'll see it translate here today. A downhill type of basketball player. Back the other way, Malik Carson drives and finish. Tipped up in the air, but on the end line was Carson as he tried to get his own miss and put it back home. South Shore ahead 5-2 here early. They went 28-6 last season, and they have consistently improved under the tenure of Sean Mark. Now in his fourth season, jump shot knocked down a far side from Murray. He's got 5 of the opening 7 points. Pass now nearly turned over. It's off the hands and out of play as Lewis nearly got the steal. .6:28 to play, opening quarter, 7-2, Vikings on top. Inbound comes to Hunt. He'll work against Prescott, tightly guarded. Hunt, burst of speed down the lane, scoops it up, but he was underneath the rim, and the ball tipped on top of the backboard, out of play. So it's still a 5-point lead for South Shore, as Prescott will call the play from the backcourt. To the near wing. Spinning is Murray. Now a battle on the loose ball underneath, and tie-up will favor the Eagles. South Shore continuing to apply full court pressure. Gross working against it along the far sideline, and he turns it over. Rock Creek Christian yesterday was able to really own the style of play, the tempo, the pace of the game against Beckley. So far, they don't seem to quite have that same energy in the early going. And that time on the drive, Burnett stepped on the end line out of bounds back to Rock Creek Christian. Delaney Hunt kicks it far side in the backcourt. Gross across the timeline now. Milton Matthews has it, and a whistle stops play on the other end. Game clock showing 6 minutes to play first quarter, 24 on the shot clock, and we'll see what they change it to here. Seemed like a timing issue, so they'll take a minute off the clock. It's now showing 5. Now some further adjustments. 5:55 is what's showing. Clock never did start. Hunt with it at the controls. Eagles working left to right in their visiting black uniforms with green lettering, white trim. Matthews gave it up left wing, whip a pass inside. Step back for Carson. That's too strong, and the rebound pulled down by Murray. Murray at 6'5", a junior forward, so far has really shown a nice ability on the glass and also to create his own shot. Burnett, deep 3, left it short, and it's pulled in by Gross. 5-point lead for the Vikings early. Williamson, too strong, and it's tipped out of play, but it will stay on that far side of the floor. Zaire Wells entering play now, and a timeout taken by Coach Laff. Lafayette Dublin on the sideline for Rock Creek Christian. He's in his second season. Previously began his coaching days at Duval High School, which is his alma mater. He got sucked into the coaching world. It wasn't really where he thought his career would take him, but he was asked multiple times to return to his alma mater and help out, and all of a sudden it turned into a full-time coaching job. He would then go on to not only coach JV, but then varsity, and after that, took the head coaching job at Thorogood Marshall Academy before accepting the role on the Rock Creek sidelines. Inbound to Matthews, turns down the 3, gets it back outside for Gross. Gross driving, hop step down the lane, lost it on the way up, and it's last touch by the Vikings. Into Matthews. He'll spot up for 3. He knocks it down. Milton Matthews had 14 points yesterday. 12 of them coming on 4 3-pointers, and he can really light it up from distance. 2-point game now with 4:50 to play here in the opening quarter. Prescott around the screen, pulls up just beyond the free throw line. Had to double clutch, nearly got that one to drop, but too strong off the glass, and the rebound pulled in by Gross. Gross in the front court. Left wing for Matthews. He'll send it baseline, or rather Carson to the baseline, and Matthews. Back to Carson. He exited yesterday's game with an ankle injury, but well enough to return to action today. Williamson blocked away inside as Lewis was able to send it out of bounds. Shot clock at 10 as it remains with the Eagles. Into Williamson. One dribble. Now hits Matthews, streaking to the basket, count it, and a foul. Gross, I should say, down the lane. James Gross there with the finish, and he will head to the free throw line. A chance for one more. Gross with offers from Bryant and Howard, the 6'3 junior who can defend positions 1 through 4 on the court, and he's so valuable to Coach Laff and this Rock Creek team. Gross knocks down the free throw. 5 points for Gross here in the early going. 5 of the first 8 in the game as Rock Creek now has their first lead. Once again, it seems like we have a clock issue, referee at the scores table. So they put 4:13 on the clock here in the opening quarter. 8-7, Rock Creek Christian on top. Prescott working to his left. Bounces a pass in between the circles. Wells kicks it right side. Rich Vine driving, draws two defenders, pops it back outside. Drive to the bucket, and Lewis will finish at the rim. Takari Lewis with his first bucket, and he puts the Vikings back in front quickly the other way. Delaney Hunt rims it around and out. And now a fast break the other way. Baseball pass ahead for Prescott. Reverse layup up and good. What a pass. Full court, about 65, 70 feet on the delivery. And Prescott, a beautiful finish at the rim. It's up by a 3-point margin are the Vikings. Matthews to the bucket, blocked away inside by Lewis, and he'll start another break the other way. Prescott spins away from Gross to the bucket. Contact, no call as he initiated it. Did Prescott. Out of play with the shot clock at 25. 3:20 to play here in the first quarter. 11-8, Vikings on top. Bounce pass inside, back to the basket, Lewis. And he'll draw a foul. Foul will go against Gross. That's his first. First team foul for either team, in fact. We had a couple games yesterday. The San Felipe game against Father Henry Carr, which featured more than its fair share of fouls. This one pretty clean in the early going. Murray down low. He's unable to finish. Rebound. And I think they called Kyrie Freeman-Davis for stepping on the end line. Freeman-Davis just into the game during that last stoppage. A 6'2 senior guard. Spark plug off the bench for the Eagles. Now a foul called away from the ball. For a violation, turns it back over to the Eagles. Pressure continues in the backcourt. Freeman-Davis and Delaney Hunt to break it. Up ahead for Gross. Feeds a pass through to Williamson, and he's unable to finish. Another block from Dakari Lewis. He's had 3 here in the early going, and Lewis has been outstanding, protecting the rim inside. That was a really nice pass. Not often you're able to make a chest pass straight across the lane. Inbound to Williamson. He spins underneath, lost it initially, but then he gathers and puts it home. Zakir Williamson with his first bucket. And the deficit now down to 1 for the Eagles, 11-10. Rich Vine turns down the screen, now drives to the free throw line, kicks it out, corner 3, Wells around and out, no good. Offensive rebound, put back is there for Murray. Timeout taken now by Sean Mark on the Vikings sideline, so he wants to talk things over with 2:28 to play here in the first quarter and a 3-point lead for his Vikings. Mark in his 4th season as head coach, his 15th overall, so 11 to begin his career with South Shore as an assistant. In his first year, they won the Borough Championship. Then the last 2 years, they've been the city champions. But once you get to the state level in New York, they mix public and private schools. And so when I was talking to him, he was talking about the challenges that it takes for a New York City school, a public school, to get over that hump of winning a borough or even the city and really be a legitimate contender to win the whole thing. Full court pressure, they get it in. Gross will help in the ball handling. Talked about his versatility, and so far he's showing it, adding some depth in the backcourt. Now a turnover. Great job by Delaney Hunt to get back into the picture, and he'll use the around-the-back move to keep the ball away from the defense. Davis, baseline jumper, knocks it down. That's a tough shot. Pass was a little bit out in front of him, but he was able to knock it down, gather it, and hit the jump shot from the baseline from about 18 feet out. 13-12 Vikings, 1:58 to play here in the opening quarter. Shaquem Murray driving to his right. Shot won't go down, and a foul on the rebound as Carson went over the back. Foul on Carson is his first, second on the team. Vikings will inbound, 1:49 to play, fresh shot clock. Prescott around a screen, driving right, kicks it out. Jab step from Wells into the corner, back to Prescott. His triple try off the mark, no good. Battle for the rebound, and Hunt rips it away from the bigger man and Shaquem Murray. Hunt now trapped in the corner, ducks through it, gets it into the front court. Gross, down low to Williamson. Hesitates and finishes. Secure Williamson, the 6'7", 240-pound forward for this Eagles team, has 4. And Dublin talks about what a matchup nightmare he can be for opponents. Right now, it looks like the Vikings are trying to pull him away from the basket. They've got him around the free throw line with Lewis playing outside. Prescott trying to open some space on the baseline. Instead, he'll step back and drain a 3. Dante Prescott has now got 7, and his team regains a 2-point advantage with 53 seconds to play. Now a turnover. Bounce pass up ahead. Wells at the rim, and it'll be goaltending, I believe. Basket will count as Gross got up there and knocked it off the glass. Jalen Minto now into the ballgame for the first time for South Shore. Minto wears number 34, a 6'5" freshman forward. Backcourt pressure continues. Hunt and Carson able to break it. Carson driving right. Down the lane, muscles up a shot, too strong. Tip up, no good from Williamson. And the rebound controlled by the Vikings. Prescott streaking forward. Crosses over down the lane into traffic, lost it. Turnover, here comes Davis. Freeman Davis, pull up, jump shot, around and out, no good. And the rebound tipped away from Carson, out of play as Richfine was able to get a hand in there. 14.6 to play here in the opening quarter. And Rock Creek Christian can take the final shot. Into Williamson. One dribble, gets the defender off the ground, missed the bunny. Rebound tipped around, still loose. Carson gathers. He's in traffic, no call on the contact. 5 seconds to play now. Marcus Burnett. And now it's Richfine who draws the foul. So Richfine fouled in the open floor. They call it on the floor, so it won't matter a whole lot with 0.3 seconds to play in the quarter. And the Vikings can't get a shot away. And after 1 quarter of play, it's South Shore 18 and Rock Creek 14. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this. You're watching the 2019 Governor's Challenge presented by AT&T. (18-14) South Shore leading Rock Creek Christian. Again, it's the Vikings' first ever appearance here in the Governor's Challenge. I was asking Sean Mark when I talked to him last week what caught his attention, what got his team here to Salisbury. And he said, he'd heard the name of the tournament in different coaching circles. He was looking for somewhere for his team to play this holiday season. And it wasn't just the competition and the out-of-state play that attracted him, but he said just looking at the website and looking at the social media for the Governor's Challenge, and Chris Jenkins has really spearheaded that effort. He does a fantastic job, and it caught the eye of Sean Mark, and it really is a testament to the promotion efforts of this event. For something like that to catch a coach's eye and really influence his decision to come here. And again, the Vikings arriving from New York just about 30 minutes before tip-off. Didn't have a whole lot of time to get ready, but they were out on the floor shooting around in time to get what they needed in to come out and play and have a 4-point lead after 1. Inside shot won't go down. Offensive rebound. Wells, the jumper from the baseline. That's off the mark. And the rebound pulled in now by Matthews. Foul called in the front court against a Viking player hounding William Rivera Jr., who's entering for the first time. Reserve guard for the Eagles, 6'1" sophomore. So Rivera will take over point guard duties. with Delaney Hunt on the bench. 3-ball up, no good from Matthews. And the rebound pulled in by Prescott, and he's tripped up underneath. And out of bounds, he stepped on the end line. I thought initially they were going to call a foul, but in fact, Prescott stepped on the baseline out of bounds. Inbound to Williamson. One dribble, goes up strong and finishes at the rim. Williamson's got 6. It's a 2-point game here with 7:16 to play in the second quarter. Wells will toss it up top. 1-3-1 zone now shown by the Eagles. They played straight man in the opening quarter. Prescott driving left, pull up inside the arc. Around and out, no good. Offensive rebound by Minto. His putback blocked away by Williamson from behind. Loose ball on the floor. Stays with the Vikings. Prescott kick out right wing. Wells drives. He pulls up and he knocks it down. That's an encouraging sequence for Sean Mark. His team gets 3 cracks at it and 3 pretty quality looks as Williamson finishes strong at the other end. He was solid yesterday, 12 points in the game, but here today he's really imposing his will down low. 8 points in the opening 9.5 minutes. Wells to the corner. Right back to him on the wing. He'll spot up from 3, and that's off the side of the rim, no good. And the weak side rebound pulled in by Maceo Carson into the game. The twin brother of Malik. Malik starts, Maceo comes off the bench. Both transferred in from DeMatha, where they played a year ago. Pull up from the left, elbow around and good. Milton Matthews hit a 3 earlier. That time he's able to step in and knock down 2. And we're even at 20 with 5:53 to play before halftime. Wells right wing, now into the corner, gets it right back. Skip pass to Prescott over top. Richvine sends it up top now for Minto. Good ball movement right now for the Vikings. Right back to Minto. Free throw line jumper off the heel, but he gets it to drop. Friendly roll for Minto, and the freshman on the board puts his team back ahead 22-20. Drive and dish. Matthews thought about the 3, or rather Carson, and he steps in and knocks down the leaner. Maceo Carson able to can the jumper. Mid-range game might be a lost start elsewhere, but not in this matchup here today. We've seen it from both sides. Just over 5 minutes to play, second quarter. Richvine skips it to Prescott over top of the zone. Drive from Prescott, wrap around inside. Sent back up top by Naquan Pounder, who's in now. Kick to the corner. 3-ball up, that's good. That's Zaire Wells who cans the 3. And the lead is 3 for the Vikings. Carson for the answer. That's around and out. And the Vikings have the rebound. Now it's taken away. Freeman Davis lays it in. Steal and the score for the senior off the bench. And he cuts it to a 1-point deficit. It's been back and forth the whole way. 25-24, South Shore on top. 4:20 to play here in the second quarter. Richvine for Prescott. He'll step in. Weaving down the lane, blocked away by Williamson. Yesterday it was the guard play of Delaney Hunt who really impressed. Today it's inside and Williamson who is making a name for himself down low on both ends. Couple of subs on both sides. Marcus Burnett back on the floor. Prescott to the bench. One dribble, quickly up with it inside. It was Jakeem Murray who's also back in. Couldn't get the shot to fall into Lonnie Hunt. Likewise back on the floor for the Eagles. 3-pointer on the way, knocked down by Rivera. His first bucket is a 3 that gives his team the lead, 27-25 in favor of the Eagles. Wells has it. Another 1-3-1 zone look. They kick it into the corner now for Burnett. Skip pass back to Wells. Now it's Jaheim Mason, who's also entered for the first time. Both coaches using some depth here in the opening half. Right side, Burnett, head fake into the corner. 3-pointer off the mark, but a foul called. We'll keep it on this end of the floor. They get Maceo Carson away from the ball. Naveek Borden also in, wearing number 30 for the Vikings. And now Rock Creek is clapping as if the call has been changed. We have a technical foul called against Jakeem Murray. I didn't see what he did, but we'll have free throws at the other end. So Maceo Carson will head down and shoot the free throws. Mentioned Carson and his brother Malik, the two twins transferring from DeMatha. This Eagles team has been heavily built as a result of transfers. William Rivera transferring from reigning state champion Eleanor Roosevelt. Kyrie Freeman Davis, a transfer from Bowie. He was their leading scorer last year, so some talented players at the public school rankings deciding they'd rather come to Rock Creek where they can play 10 more games, play in events like this. Carson able to convert at the line, and a costly play right there is able to not only alter the score and extend it to a 4-point advantage, but also give Rock Creek the ball. Rivera drives into traffic, and he draws a foul as Borden commits the personal. Borden's first, and it's the third team foul. Rivera at the free throw line. He averages 5 points and 2 rebounds per game, a 75% free throw shooter, and he hits the first. Second free throw up and good. Rivera's got 5, and the lead now is 5 for the Eagles, who trailed for the most part in the opening quarter. Once again, it looks like we have a clock issue as the referees stop play. Haven't had this much throughout the tournament. Sometimes we've had to stop to reset the shot clock, which again they have to wind as opposed to manually putting up the digit on the shot clock. But the game clock, for whatever reason, seeming to have a little bit of trouble here in this one. 2 games on the docket today. After this, we'll have Balboa facing off with Legacy, another one that looks to be a great matchup on paper. Balboa has won 3 straight games at the Governor's Challenge. Legacy won here in the first day, then went to dunk at the beach. Corner 3 ball off the mark, and the rebound pulled in by Matthews. Matthews to the right wing. Rivera shielding it off. Delani Hunt straight on triple. Missed everything. Just hit off the backboard, and now the opposite way. Lead pass. A nice save that time from the big fella Lewis to keep it in possession of the Vikings. One-handed stretching back of the end line. Inside of 3 minutes. And a pass to the corner turned over. Burnett tried to go with a no-look feed and nearly threw it out of bounds. Too hot to handle. Prescott back in, takes the spot of Jakeem Mason, who was in there for a few moments to spell Prescott, the starting point guard. 2:40 to play here in the opening half. 31-25 in favor of the Eagles. Bounce pass through a seam, and Williamson couldn't handle. Good idea there for Milton Matthews. Trying to hit the roller, and he would have been open for an easy finish, but the pass just a little bit out in front. And Matthews will come out. Kyrie Freeman Davis back on. 2.5 minutes to play here in the opening half. 6-point lead right now for the Eagles. And part of the shift in this game was when the Eagles went to this 1-3-1 zone. Kick to the corner. Burnett tried to feed a skip pass in front. Rivera takes it away. Rivera into Burnett, and an offensive foul. So a turnover gives it back to the Eagles, or the Vikings rather, as Prescott brings it up the court. His team down by 6. Burnett. Ball fake back to Prescott over top of the head of the snake. Into the corner. Now they get it inside. Borden back to the basket, and it's knocked out of play. We'll stay with the Vikings. 12 seconds to shoot off the inbound. Burnett to trigger. Into Lewis, right back to Burnett. Baseline drive, tried to dish it off. Not a great pass. It stays with the Vikings. 5 to shoot. Drive from Wells, and it will drop home. Tough finish at the rim, and now another technical foul is called. Something said after the bucket, presumably from Wells. So that's the second time here in the opening half that we've had a technical foul whistled against the Vikings. And once again, free throws coming at the other end. It was Maceo Carson the first time. That was with Delaney Hunt on the bench. Hunt also a very good free throw shooter. He'll now be the one shooting. And unable to get the first one to go. Hunt again scored 15 points yesterday, really controlled the pace of the game in the victory against Beckley, and he'll make the second. And Rock Creek Christian will get the ball after the free throws. Hunt will toss it in. Minute 30 to play here in the opening half. Williamson turning the corner all the way to the bucket. Tough angle shot off the side of the window. Battle for the rebound and a foul called as Prescott hit the deck. Now we'll go against Zakir Williamson. His first 15 foul. Again, it's been a pretty clean first half. Check that 16 foul, but 11 total fouls have been called here in the opening half as Williamson now will take a seat. James Gross back on the floor. Coming up at halftime, we'll take a look back to some of the highlights of this tournament, including the three-point shootout and the dunk competition back from Friday night. Prescott handling, again, this zone look from the Eagles. Back up top, Prescott faked the three, instead it's a pass down low, and it's a tough one to handle off the hands of Borden and out of play. Just over a minute left, opening quarter. Rivera to bring the ball up the floor. Passes it now to the left wing. Carson thought about the three, doesn't take it. Instead, it's Delaney Hunt. Driving left, up and under. Can't get the roll. Tipped out of play on the rebound as Hunt tried to follow his own miss. Double clutch that time from Hunt, and he was able to really hang in the air, but just could not get the shot to fall. 32-27. A lead of 5 right now for the Eagles. They've led for the most of the second quarter after it was the Vikings who led for the majority of the first. Lewis and Prescott play catch up top. Got a 20-second difference, shot clock and game clock. 8 on the timer now. Baseline spin move from Murray. Lost it inside. Tip up won't go from Borden. Shot clock now off with 20 seconds to play. Gross into the front court. Gross down the lane to the bucket. It's blocked away. Lewis comes away with the rejection. Up ahead for Prescott. He'll drive in and he'll float it home. 9 seconds to play. Rivera at midcourt. 4 seconds to the corner. 3 ball from Freeman Davis. It's good. So Freeman Davis beats the horn. He's got 7 in the opening half. After the bucket from Prescott at the other end came with 9 seconds to play. Halftime here in Salisbury. 29 points for South Shore. They got out to an early lead, but Rock Creek Christian comes storming back, and they lead at 35-29 here at halftime. Let's take a look back to the Beckley Prep team sweeping the contest back on Friday night.
All right, we're back with another edition of Off the Court. Gov's Challenge in the building tonight. We got a West Virginia to Lithuania takeover. We got Dom, we got Rob, the three-point champion and the dunk champion. First, Dom, let's talk about your dominating performance in the three-point challenge. How did you feel out there on the court?
I feel good because it's not my first contest. I knew that I'm gonna win. I don't know why, but I have that feeling.
I think confidence is the most important part of being a good basketball player or a good athlete in general. When you were hitting those money balls, did you felt the crowd's energy?
Yeah, I feel crowd's energy, and that helped me a lot.
Now, the competition, like you come over here to play basketball and go to school. The competition over here, it's a different level, right?
Yeah, it's different level. There is faster basketball, and all guys are jumping. If you're on the way, get out of the way.
But you felt like you was number one on the court tonight, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, what do you think about the trophies? Well, I know your coach said it was going to be a little difficult to get back to Lithuania. How do you feel about grabbing that trophy? Is that one of a kind?
I think it's not a problem because trophies is lit.
It's definitely lit. Now, Rob, we got to talk about lit. You was on a different level tonight, my man. I thought you had it wrapped up when you threw the ball into the court, but that foul line shot, that was something special, man. Talk about what you had going on in your mind going into the dunk challenge.
First, I started easily, off the starting backboard, and then for the final, I took the best dunk I can do, like free throw line, and it worked.
Now, I can tell between the two of you confidence. You're a little more confident. You're a little more humble, right? So in that situation of people gassing you up, like does that get you going? Does that get you pumped up?
Yeah, fans are the most important thing in basketball. Like, if they're cheering for you, you're gonna play better and you feel better.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think that, you know, as far as the Gov Challenge is concerned, you definitely made a classic moment with that foul line shot. What were you thinking about going into that? Because you flushed it first time.
Yeah, I don't know. I practiced a lot on this dunk, but I could never make it. But adrenaline today was different, and I tried my first try, and I think
it was special because everybody seen you move the displays out of the way, and everybody just got more and more amped. So you just felt like that adrenaline just took over, huh?
Yeah, definitely, yes.
That's what's up, man. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm a West Virginia alumni, so I love seeing you guys up here. I love seeing your coach with the West Virginia logo. Obviously, college is in the future. What are you looking towards?
Now I have a division to offer from Alderson Brothers and from JUCO Chipola College. And Marshall University also showing big interest for me.
That's what's up, man. Well, I'm going to tell you both guys, you're a different level of competition. I think this was definitely our first team takeover as far as the challenges were concerned. So kudos to you guys, and you really killed it. Now, let me ask you one more question, Rob. What'd you think about your trophy?
It's amazing. I never had that kind of trophy, and I really like it.
So it's one of a kind that'll last forever for you, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first. Governor's Challenge. I got Dom, I got Rob. Lithuania Takeover. Gov Challenge, we out off the court.
Thanks for any updates about the 2019 Governor's Challenge. Don't forget to follow us on social media on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat at GovChallenge. Fans, we can see you here tonight at 8:30.
So far, this Day 4 matchup has lived up to its billing. It's a 6-point lead at the break with Rock Creek Christian leading South Shore. Again, the Vikings making their very first appearance here at the Governor's Challenge. They rode down today on the bus from New York, and they came out to a hot start, but Rock Creek has answered, and they've done it primarily in terms of second chance points. That's where the biggest separation has been here today as we look at some of the first half numbers. And these two teams very evenly matched in terms of field goal percentage and three-point field goals. The other big momentum shift in the opening half, there were two technical fouls called against the Vikings that not only resulted in free throws for Rock Creek Christian, but in one case also a change of possession. So you take that into account, that's 3 points right there that were added at the free throw line as a result of those technical fouls. And you see the lead at the break, 35-29 in favor of Rock Creek Christian, who's coming off a victory yesterday. They beat Beckley 71-59 as they too are making an appearance in this tournament. Not far away from Upper Marlboro, Maryland, again battling a team down from New York City, and we've got a good one at the break. Before we get started in the second half, we take a look back to the dunk contest on Friday night, and here's how Rob Unitas stole the show. Rob Unitas, Beckley Prep, also known as the Lithuanian Jumpman. He and his fellow Beckley Prep teammate, Dominikas Romanos, both taking home skills competition honors in a really exciting event here Friday night. The ladies' skill competition coming up tonight as they begin their play here in the Governor's Challenge, and they'll have a complete day to themselves tomorrow as well. Well, this tournament, which started 39 years ago, has grown to this year where it's now over 120 different teams represented. Yesterday we saw a team from Puerto Rico and a team from Canada take part in the event, as well as Balboa, who we'll see again later this evening all the way across country from California. Underway here in the second half as the Eagles start with the basketball working right to left. Loose on the floor for a moment, comes free to Carson at the point. Here's Delani Hunt, who scored just one in the opening quarter. He'll drive down the lane, scoop it up, no good, but he does draw the foul. So Delani Hunt will head to the free throw line. The senior with a bunch of offers to choose from, including UMBC, UAB, Hampton, Robert Morris, and Howard. He's a double-double machine in terms of scoring and assisting, and he's the motor that runs this ship, according to Coach Laff. We'll see if he can have a big second half after a quiet opening 16 minutes. 2 for 2 at the free throw line, and he extends the lead to 8. Prescott will handle on the other end of things for the Vikings. 3-2 zone now, shown by the Eagles. Kick it to the right corner. Burnett turns it over. Delani Hunt back the other way. Splitting the defense, lefty finish at the rim. Delani Hunt has that extra gear and he explodes off the dribble. He's got 4 points in the second half and the lead is now 10. Richvine directing traffic up front. This is something Beckley had trouble with yesterday, this 3-2 zone. They were unable to get those short corner jump shots that you need to succeed against it. Not really able to move the top three either and create line drives to the rim. Now a drive and dish and a turnover. Prescott was sliding to the corner and the pass came behind him from Kiplin Richvine. Minute 12 gone by in the second half. Jelani Hunt has scored the first 4 points in the third quarter. He'll spin away from Prescott. Creating the switch right now, guarded by Burnett. Jelani Hunt driving off the dribble, kicks it back outside. Freeman Davis the triple, that's off the front of the rim. Rebound tipped out of play, and it will go to the Vikings. The one guy that really impressed me on the Vikings side of things in that opening half was Dakari Lewis. Only scored 2 points, but he made a big-time impact defensively, blocked a handful of shots. Now Freeman Davis jumps in the passing lane and creates a steal. He's all the way to the bucket and lays it in off the glass. Freeman Davis off the bench with 9. Now Prescott the other way, and Jelani Hunt will foul him up top. And there was a man down in the corner. Freeman Davis, after he made that bucket, stayed down in the far corner, and he's being tended to next to the trainer's table. I didn't see what happened. I don't know if he maybe was knocked into the standard of the basket, but it looks like he's being treated for a bloody nose, and I think that's why Jelani Hunt reached in to commit the foul. They were playing shorthanded. Inbound, Burnett, corner triple off the mark, no good. Tipped on the rebound and controlled. Here's Jelani Hunt into the front court quickly. We'll leave it off behind him, whip a pass into the corner. Carson dials up the 3, around and through. Touched every part of the iron before going down. And Rock Creek Christian exploding out of the halftime locker room. They've expanded a 6-point lead and made it a 44-29 advantage. Sean Mark asked for time. He said he'd give his team a C+ grade so far this season. They are working to overcome some major setbacks this year. Not only has he had some players transfer out of the program, but Jason Palmer, a 6'4 senior, tore his ACL. He's out for the year. Nate Tabor, who's a 4-star recruit, he had offers from UConn, Texas Tech, Auburn, LSU, and more. After decommitting from St. John's, is no longer with the team. He stepped away, at least for the time being. And so between all of that, not only has the talent been depleted a little bit for the Vikings, but they've also had to work with a different group from a chemistry perspective. A 9-0 run to start the second half for the Eagles. Bounce pass into the right corner. 3-pointer up and good. That was Jakeem Murray, who was waiting around for something to happen. Nothing transpired, and he said, why not? I'll just take it myself, and he connects. 2.5 gone by here in the second half. That 3-pointer snapped that 9-0 run. Milton Matthews the other way, left the little runner short. And now we'll see if the Vikings can start to mount a run of their own after the timeout. Jakeem Murray steps back. He'll kick it left side. Prescott 3 on the way. That's off the side of the rim, no good. And the rebound controlled by Gross. Gross for Hunt, spinning through the defense. Hunt exploding down the lane, dishes it off for Carson. And he's fouled, reaching against Prescott. Foul on Prescott is his second. Again, neither team entered the bonus in the first half, so no one really in foul trouble. Malik Carson did have 2, but everyone else only with a single personal there in the opening half. Williamson lost it on the way up, and they'll reverse the call. It hit his own leg as it was deflected out of bounds. So a turnover gives it to the Vikings with just under 5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Prescott turned around to eye the clock in the left corner. Now he'll pick it up on the roll. Into the corner, jab step. Murray drives, overhead pass far side for Burnett. Back up top for Richvine, quickly to Prescott. He'll weave through the defense, circus shot won't go. And now tipped out of play, and was that a foul or just a change of possession? Just out of bounds it looks like. Now some full court man-to-man being applied. And again, Delaney Hunt does a nice job of taking care of the ball. So few turnovers that we've seen from Rock Creek. Now Matthews spins away from the defense and finishes. So calm for Milton Matthews. A little jumper from the elbow. He's now got 7. It's a 14-point advantage for Rock Creek. Bounce pass left wing. Prescott gives it right back to Richvine. Now over to Burnett driving. Took a spill and he draws a foul. Williamson appears like he might be a little bit shaken up, reaching back for his right hip on that spill. Kyrie Freeman Davis still being tended to at the end of the bench. And again, it's a bloody nose that he suffered after a fast break bucket. So Burnett will be at the free throw line. 6'5" senior guard. As they try to get all of the moisture off the floor where Zakir Williamson went down a moment ago. First one good from Burnett. Williamson checks out. Maceo Carson back in now for the Eagles. Second free throw coming from Burnett. And he rattles that one home. 2 for 2 at the line. And now some more full court pressure. They get it into Malik Carson. Carson gives up his dribble, skips it pass forward to Milton Matthews. Back to Malik Carson. They're doing a nice job to front Delaney Hunt and try to limit his touches offensively. Carson behind the back dribble. Now gives it up. Hunt gets it up top with the shot clock at 10. Hunt, step back 3, straight on, around and out, no good. And the rebound tipped and controlled by Richvine. 46-34, 12-point advantage. To stop the run, Burnett, around and out, no good. And Maceo Carson has the rebound. Hunt pushing. Matthews in the corner, spots for the 3. That's off the rim, no good. Offensive rebound, Malik Carson, ball fake, and the finish. Carson's got 5. Already eclipsing his total from yesterday, as he was forced away for much of the second quarter with that ankle injury. Prescott couldn't finish. Now away come the Eagles. Dangerous pass. Somehow makes its way to Matthews. Now he turns it over as Lewis took it away. Up for Prescott. Down the left side of the lane. Tied up. Nice play by Gross, who moved his feet nicely and reached in and grabbed the basketball. Possession will keep it with the Vikings on the alternating arrow. Zaire Wells back off the bench. She'll take the spot of Marcus Burnett. Matthews also to the bench in favor of William Rivera Jr. So Viking ball, 2:52 to play here in the third quarter. Into Prescott. He'll try the triple, left it short, and the rebound for Hunt. He'll look to push. 3-on-2 on the break. Back to Hunt. And he'll finish off the feed from Rivera. Hunt's now got 7, 6 in the second half. And he's helped grow this lead. It's up to 14. Push pass. Now they get it inside. Jakeem Murray turnaround jump shot from the elbow won't go down. And Gross clears the rebound. Gross into the front court with it. Left side all the way to the bucket. Hangs, can't hit, gets his own miss though. Put back, swatted away. Jakeem Murray in there to block the shot after the initial defense from Lewis on the contest. Now Richvine to the bucket. He'll lay it up and in. So a stop on one end, a score on the other. And the Vikings will need a few more of those to get back in it. Rivera thought about the deep 3. He was at NBA range, doesn't take it. And now a whistle and a timeout taken by Coach Dublin on the Eagles sideline. So Dublin talking things over with his team. We mentioned that coaching wasn't exactly what he aspired to do when he began as a JV coach, but he's grown to love it. And one of the things that he enjoys most about coaching is not only the challenges day to day, but big picture as he continues to try to grow as a coach himself. He was telling me that he'll go to a handful of different high schools around the area and watch how different coaches do things in practice. He'll sit in on some college coaches, and he just likes to not only pick the brain of these coaches, but be able to take different pieces of what they do and implement it into his own program. He said the two biggest things he's learned in coaching are, one, that you can't coach every kid the same. You got to find out what makes each guy tick. One guy, you yell and scream at them and it gets through. Another guy, it shuts them down per se. As Rivera will drive to the rim and finish uncontested. The other thing Dublin touched on was that in order to get production on the court, he says that so often what has to come first is the trust and the relationship with the player off the court. Those are a couple of things that he has really leaned on as his teams have improved over the years. Drive and a finish at the rim for Zaire Wells. And the lefties now got 11 to lead the way off the bench for the Vikings. 52-38. And now a moving screen called against Delani Hunt. May have turned out his hip slightly on the dribble, a handoff, but he doesn't care for the call. First personal on Hunt. Third team foul. Into the corner, Wells for three. Knocks it down. Zaire Wells now has 14, and it's down to an 11-point margin. Delani Hunt using his quickness, but unable to completely get free. Now it's Rivera, and he's able to get the defense out of position and just turn and finish. Lewis tried to overplay him, and Rivera left open to his left-hand side. Shaquem Murray driving baseline, and he took steps. Murray insisting that he was grabbed. And a timeout now taken by Sean Mark. For a public school, the Vikings have had some considerable talent come through South Shore in recent years. Wayne Martin at Tennessee State graduating last year. Ryan Preston now at Rhode Island. Guys like Terrence Samuel on UConn. Shamik Shepard, who played for South Carolina in the 2014-2015 season. And while so many public schools have a real hard time keeping players close to home, we talked about that with Delaney, who had Shea Evans, who we'll see later today or rather Ike Cornish, who we'll see later today, and Shea Evans, who played against Legacy, or was on the Newman Goretti team at least. He didn't play due to injury, but a couple guys transferring away from Delaney despite their reputation. The same could be said for Father Henry Carr in Canada. But despite Sean Mark talking about having to overcome some transfers this year, throughout the history of the South Shore program, they've been able to keep some pretty talented ones to stay at home. 34 seconds to play third quarter, 54-41. Full court man-to-man pressure as Rivera gets it on the inbound. About a 6-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Rivera guarded tightly by Wells. Rivera driving dish. Maceo Carson down the lane, blocked away, but a foul came first. Another block there from Lewis. It won't count, but he's able to really time his jumps well. Foul goes against Murray. That's his second. And free throws coming for Carson. Officially 5 blocks in the opening half for Lewis. And the free throw from Carson up and good. Carson bends the knees and knocks down the second. 15-point lead, the largest of the ball game now for the Eagles. Once again, we have a clock issue as the referee stops play. Right now, the clock's showing 18.3. And they'll take 4 seconds off. Vikings ball working left to right. They can take the final shot of the third quarter if they so choose. Wells with it around a screen. Left side of the lane, off the glass and in. Zaire Wells now with 16. 4 seconds left. Rivera from the Jimmy John's logo off the side of the rim, no good. 56-43. The Eagles started with a 9-0 run out of the locker room, and they've built up a double-digit lead after 3. Final quarter on the other side of this timeout. You're watching the 2019 Governor's Challenge presented by AT&T.
The new $3 Little John from Jimmy John's is just like our original sandwiches, only littler. So we bought a little ad on Lil John.
Little John, yeah! $3, what?
Matt President back with you from Salisbury. Good third quarter for the Eagles as they started off a little bit slowly. Part of that was their point guard, Delani Hunt, scored just 1 in the opening half. He's now up to 7 in the ball game, and he scored the first 4 points of that third quarter, part of a 9-0 run. And it's now a 13-point advantage, 56-43. So we'll see if the Vikings can close. Zaire Wells, I should say, with 16, leads South Shore after 3 quarters of play. And it will be Rock Creek ball as they will move from right to left. Now we're going to give it to the Vikings instead, it looks like. So it's South Shore ball. Prescott gives it up right back to Richvine off the inbound. I think the biggest takeaway for Rock Creek Christian exiting this tournament will be the impact of that zone as the three-pointer is off the mark from Wells. It was so influential in limiting what Beckley was able to do offensively yesterday, and I think you could say the same today. And I think it's more than a coincidence when it comes over a full 2 games where really no team is able to consistently find an opening against it. Williamson botting his way inside, gets contact, and a chance for a 3-point play. First bucket of the second half for Williamson, and he's been much more physical here today. And despite the blocked shots from Dakari Lewis here today, he is not going to be able to stop the big body of Williamson down low. And was called for a foul that time. He'll exit. He has the leaping ability to contest, but he doesn't have the size to play him one-on-one in the post. Free throw coming from Williamson, and he is able to cap off that 3-point play. He's got 11 now. 59-43 with 7:25 to play here in the third quarter. Left wing, and Wells tried to penetrate, nothing there. They'll swing it back to Prescott. Now they do get it inside for Borden, and he'll draw a foul. Talking with Sean Mark, he made an interesting observation with Navik Borden that whether or not he plays well, it's so dependent on his energy and intensity in practice, and oftentimes that will determine where he is in the rotation, how many minutes he gets. It all starts for him in practice, and the buy-in in between games, not as much what he does on the floor in games. Referee's checking on the clock once again. I think it's the shot clock this time that inadvertently reset. South Shore into the low block. Nice pass, but that time Murray lost it out of bounds. It will be last touch. Now Delaney Hunt asking for a second opinion. He thought Murray lost it on his own, and the near side official thought the same, and it hits off of Murray's knee. And we'll go to the Eagles. Eagles continue to play with a guard-heavy lineup. Williamson, the lone big on the floor. They have both Rivera and Delaney Hunt in. Williamson driving baseline, muscles up another shot and gets it to go. Give him 13 in the game. And he extends the lead to 61-43. Murray quickly in. Now they get it back out. Prescott the triple. That's off the mark. No good. Put back up and in. Murray able to get there on the weak side glass. And a timeout now asked for. Don't forget, coming up right after this game, we'll have the final game of the showcase portion of the Governor's Challenge. Balboa, who's won a couple of games on our network. They're 19-3 now in the season. They play a really heavy schedule, 41 games in all. And their 23rd of the year will come today against the Legacy Lions from Greenville, South Carolina. 12-4 their record, a win against Newman Goretti back on Friday. Then they went 1-1 in the last 2 days playing at the Dunk at the Beach tournament, and they're back here to cap off the Governor's Challenge. So we'll have that game about 15 minutes or so following the conclusion of this one. Right now it's the Eagles 61, the Vikings 45. The largest lead of the game has come here in the second half, and it was a 6-point lead at the break at 35-29. Rock Creek Christian went on a 9-0 run to begin the third quarter. And they have increased that lead now up to 16. Vikings showing full court pressure out of the timeout. And it seems like there was some confusion in terms of where the ball should be inbounded from, and now we're going to get another technical foul call. This is going against Sean Mark on the South Shore sideline. And Carson no good on the first free throw. Again, it was a momentum swing in the opening half. 2 technical free throws resulted in 3 points. 3 of the 4 free throws cashed in by the Eagles. We also had a possession taken away as a result. A couple of scoring opportunities nullified, and also the fouls that resulted. 62-45 now, plus the basketball. Maceo Carson has it, and the Eagles here in the final quarter content to work the clock. Rivera has it now, driving to his right. Bounce pass to the wing. 3-pointer on the way. Williamson around and out, no good. He tried to step out and knock one down. He's been a bully inside, that time away from the rim. And now Williamson blocks it away from Prescott. Lead pass up ahead, and it's knocked away from Hunt out of play. Last touch by Kiplin Richfine. So Hunt will inbound. Rivera trying to get free, and I believe a 5-second violation. No, a timeout came first. So Coach Dublin takes time. His team unable to get the ball in, so he will talk things over. Rock Creek Christian Academy last competed in the Governor's Challenge in 2017. They play in the CBAA League in Upper Marlboro, and that Beltway League is very strong. It's one of the dominant leagues in the area. There's so many in the D.C. metro area that are so strong in basketball. Of course, the WCAC, and we saw McNamara from that conference that competes against the likes of Gonzaga and DeMatha and St. John's, and then, of course, the Baltimore Catholic League, very strong as well, and we saw St. Maria Goretti in this tournament as well. So much talent from the Beltway corridor. Under 6 minutes to play now in regulation. Rivera handling right now for the Eagles. Gives it up to Carson, now over to Delani Hunt, far wing. Hunt looking to break down the D. Back to Carson, free throw line, kick out. Rivera the triple, that's off the mark, no good, and the rebound pulled in by Jakeem Murray. Prescott tried to skip a pass to the corner, it's knocked away, stays with the Vikings. Now they do get it to the corner, and the three-pointer off the mark that time. Richvine couldn't get it to go, but the put back, and it's Minto who draws a foul. So Jalen Minto heading to the free throw line. A very good rebounder for the Vikings, and I'm told he can also step out and shoot the three a little bit. We haven't seen it yet today, but certainly a valuable asset for a 6'5" forward to be able to also have that outside game and draw defenders away from the basket. He's only a freshman, but getting considerable minutes here in his first year with the Vikings. Second free throw from Minto is up and in. And now Takari Lewis will return. Again, Lewis with 6 blocks here today. He'll take the spot of Minto, the shooter. Trap in the backcourt. They're able to get it free. Maceo Carson up ahead. Back into the game is Freeman Davis, and he will draw the foul, count the basket. So Freeman Davis, who exited in the first half with a bloody nose, able to get back in there. And he's shown a consistent ability to finish through contact at the rim. Into double figures now with 11. And the free throw makes it a 19-point advantage. It was a 6-point game at the break. And if you're just joining us, a 9-0 run out of the second half locker room for the Eagles really jump-started this second half. 3-ball from Wells. He knocks down the triple. Big answer from Zaire Wells, who's kept the Vikings in it. He's got 19. And a near steal. Prescott will take it away at midcourt. Bounce pass to Wells. Reverse layup won't go. Tip up no good. Third time no. On the fourth attempt, Murray drops it in. And now a delay of game called against Murray. I think he must have knocked the ball away after making the bucket. And I'm not sure what started this, but it does not seem like the Vikings have been in the good graces of the officials throughout this one. 3 technical fouls and a delay of game. Hunt knocked to the floor as he tried to spin away. He accidentally spun right into Richvine. And what's the call? Jump ball and possession arrow favoring the Eagles, it looks like. There didn't seem to be a very demonstrative signal on the floor. Again, we're perched well above the court level, and it's a great vantage point to see the plays developing, to see the whole floor. But sometimes it's a bit of a challenge to make out exactly what is being called in scrums like that one. Gross back into the game. He hasn't played a lot as Rock Creek has gone small in this one. They get it forward to Rivera. Rivera working against Prescott, able to get a step. Now kick it out, Williamson. Spins, goes up, shot blocked away. Second chance effort, no good. And again, a block shot for Lewis down low. He's been excellent defensively on the interior. Prescott straight on 3, missed everything, but the putback there for Jakeem Murray. Murray's got 16. He and Wells have combined for 35. Here's Rivera. Blocked away again. This time it's Murray on the rejection. Ball will stay with the Eagles. .351 to play. 65-53. South Shore has been able to trim into it, but it has not been single digits since early in the third. Rivera on the repost for Williamson, back outside. NBA range three, front rim no good, and the rebound for the Vikings. Michael Emanuel, or rather, no, that's Pounder into the game. And the jump shot knocked down by Murray, gave him 18 in the game. Talani Hunt breaks the pressure. Now off to Gross. He'll avoid the double team. Freeman Davis all the way to the rack. Missed the hammer. Oh, man. He was close, but it's now just a 10-point game, and I think Coach Laff has to be a little bit concerned that with 3:12 to play, his team has taken this lead for granted. They'll roll this one up the floor. Prescott will start things in the front court. He'll hit the deck, but he's able to shuffle it to the wing. Three-pointer up, an air ball. Contact, no call as Murray hit the deck. And now Delani Hunt will lob it over top of the pressure. Gross down the lane, hangs, can't hit. And the rebound pulled down by Pounder. Jakeem Murray to Prescott. Hop step across the lane. Pounder into traffic. Alters the shot, but gets it to fall. Naquan Pounder's first bucket of the game, and the senior off the bench is able to get it to drop. 65-57 the lead, and a timeout taken by the Eagles. Eagles off to a 9-3 start to the season. South Shore at 5-4 on the year. Again, stick with us right after this one. We'll have the second game of our doubleheader here today. Balboa from Escondido, California, 19-3 to begin play this season. And a victory yesterday over St. Andrews, 60-49. We'll take on Legacy, who beat Newman Goretti to open this tournament 66-62 back on Friday night. Again, it's been an awfully fun 4 days here with you at the Governor's Challenge. 12 games, and we really appreciate you taking out some of your day to drop in and watch all of the action. One of the biggest high school tournaments. In fact, in terms of size, it is by far the biggest tournament in the nation, and it continues to grow year after year. And we've gotten to watch some awfully talented players this week at the Wicomico Youth and Civic Center. .234 to play. 65-57. Again, it's the closest it's been since right out of the half. And it looks like right now Balboa and Legacy teams are warming up across the way on that far court, with nothing going on right now on court 2. Rivera has it off the inbound. 13 on the shot clock. Bounce pass to Maceo Carson. Defended tightly by Wells. Carson, shot a spring free, can't do so. Hands to Hunt. He'll drive baseline, won't go up with it, and he stepped on the end line. So Carson steps on the, or Hunt rather, steps on the end line and turns it over. And now all of a sudden, it's an 8-point game and a chance for the Vikings to trim it even further. Wells and Murray have been the catalyst for this comeback here in the second half. Prescott, pull up from the free throw line. That's off the mark, no good. Offensive rebound, putback won't go. And a foul on the third opportunity as Murray gets hacked from behind. Another part of this has been rebounding, and we've seen the Vikings here in the second half continue to get second and third looks at the rim. Rock Creek actually held the rebounding advantage 18-15 at the break. First free throw from Murray off the front of the rim, no good. One more coming, just under 2 minutes to play. Just one timeout left for either side. Second free throw up and good. Jakeem Murray now with 19 points. And he will guard the inbound. To Williamson, he turns it over right back to Murray. His layup won't go down. Offensive rebound though for Pounder. Here's Prescott down the lane. It scoops it up. Can't get it to drop with the left hand. Tip up, no. Tip, no. Jakeem Murray's got it on the ground. Somehow able to get it free to Ponder. And now a timeout taken. The final timeout for the Vikings. A dominant rebounding advantage right now for South Shore. Coach Laff has gone small for much of this game. But right now, James Gross is back on the floor. He's a good rebounder. Of course, Zakir Williamson at 6'7", 240. He provides some muscle, and those guys unable to get the job done. And again, it's all of a sudden a 65-58 7-point advantage. So no timeouts left now for South Shore, just one for Rock Creek Christian. Boy, when this was a 16-point lead about 5 minutes ago, I did not foresee this finish. Give credit to Sean Mark and Vikings for hanging tough and making the adjustments and getting a lot more looks close to the rim, rebounding. And again, it's been Wells off the bench with 19 and Jakeem Murray with 19 leading the way. Into Murray. Trying to break down his man off the dribble. Turnaround, missed everything from the elbow. Tip out, and it's kept alive by Lewis. Now to the corner, and a man down, out of bounds. And it will go to the Eagles. That was Wells who slid on the deck. He was looking for a call, didn't get one. But full court pressure now coming on the inbound. Again, last time they got it into Williamson, and instinctively, he turned the pass right back to the inbounder, but turned it over, and it resulted in free throws. The Mop crew getting a nice workout in. Players going down all over this court. Nothing but hustle here down the stretch. And again, setting up for a great finish. Into Williamson again. This time he's able to find Rivera off to his side. And Hunt will settle things in the front court with 1:25 to play. Hunt guarded by Prescott. Hunt takes him off the dribble. Drives into the lane. Floats up a left-handed shot. Around and through. Touched every part of the iron. And Hunt gets it to drop. He's got 9. Lead back to 9 as well. Up and under shot from Prescott won't go. He will have a baseline right inbound coming as the shot was knocked out of play by Williamson on help D. Quickly in. They tried to get it to Murray in the pass. Too far to his right. I don't believe it was touched. It was not. It will be Eagles ball. 1:02 to play. 67-58, 9-point advantage. And they turn it over again on the inbound, and it's laid up and in by Pounder. Naquan Pounder off the bench now has 4. And he's helped in the defensive effort and the comeback effort. Rivera up ahead for Carson. Carson to the rack. He goes down without a call, but the ball stays with the Eagles on the reset. Hunt guarded by Murray. 43 seconds to play. Prescott coming with the help. Hunt goes the other way. Hunt to the rim. Left-handed shot won't go down, and the rebound for the Vikings. Wells pushing. 3-on-2. And a whistle and a travel, I believe. I didn't see the signal, but it's a turnover. Looked to me like Wells may have just kind of trapped that ball against his right hip as he was going in transition. Eagles get it in. 25 seconds to play. Rivera trying to avoid the fouls, and now he'll be touched up. Wells will commit the foul and send Rivera to the free throw line. Actually checked that. It was only the 6th team foul, so they need one more to get into the bonus. Into Carson. He is fouled. And now we will have free throws, but it'll be a 1-and-1. So free throw shooting now at a premium, 18 seconds. It would still take a lot to complete the comeback for the Vikings, but they're helped out by only one guaranteed free throw to start here. Carson is a good free throw shooter, and he makes the first. He's got 7 in the game. Eagles keeping everyone off the free throw line as Carson goes 2 for 2. 9-point lead, 16 seconds to play. Pull up from Wells, deep three, got it. Zaire Wells now with 22 points in the game. And Hunt draws the foul off the inbound. Clock stops with 6.9. Well, if nothing else, it's been a heck of a second half effort for Zaire Wells and Jakeem Murray. Wells with 22. 13 of them in the second half. Murray with 19. And of those 19 points, 12 have come in the second half. Hunt trying to ice it, hits the first. He's now in double figures with 10. Lead is 7 with 7 seconds to play. Second free throw coming from Talani Hunt. 2 for 2. Free throws big in this one. The Eagles have done well at the line, taking advantage of some technical fouls as well. One more heave from Wells, left it short, no good. And that will do it. A 9-0 lead out of the halftime locker room. And Rock Creek Christian went up by as many as 16 in the second half. They hold on late for a 71-63 victory. Despite a great effort, as we mentioned, from Zaire Wells and Jakeem Murray. Kyrie Freeman Davis in double figures with 10. Talani Hunt also had 11. And Zakir Williamson, dominant in the low block, finishes in double figures. He had 13. Final game of the tournament on our live stream presented by NFHS and AT&T comes your way right after this. Balboa and Legacy, don't go anywhere. You've been watching the Governor's Challenge presented by AT&T.